I took part in Poetry by Heart because I thought it'd be a really fun experience. I really like poetry. Memorization skills are extremely important, especially in your level 3 courses. So I thought it would help me improve my memorization skills. It might be a fun experience, which it was, and I'd meet some people who also like poetry. I chose Emily Bronte because I liked her books, and so when I saw her name on the list of poetry, I knew that that was going to be one that I could really enjoy learning. And The Lost Woman, I'd never heard of Patricia Beer before, but when I read it, it really spoke to me. The words I really felt them, and so I knew that I could give like a convincing delivery of that poem. So learning the poems can be quite difficult at first, especially if you pick longer poems. I definitely picked some longer poems, but how I did it was I just initially read through them a few times, highlighted and identified the areas that I was getting a bit stuck with, and then once I felt a little bit more confident, I would perform them in front of someone like my dad or my cat or my little sister, and that was kind of like giving me experience of how it would be like to perform in front of someone, and also they could let me know any places that I struggled with and then just work on those places from there. I really loved competing in the national championships. It was a really great experience. We got to stay over for a night in London. We went to go see a Shakespeare play, which was a very interesting experience because we got to see Shakespeare performed on Shakespeare's Globe stage, which was just a very unique experience. The actual day of performing was not as nerve-wracking as you'd expect it to be. We were put in groups of performers, and throughout the day you got to kind of get to know them, make friends with them, and so when it came time to perform you were quite settled in, and it really wasn't as nerve-wracking as I thought it'd be, so I really enjoyed the experience. I think that everyone should take part in Poetry by Heart because the skills that you learn are just really useful in your studies, in your everyday life. Memorization techniques can help you with things like revision for your A levels. Learning a new poem is, just a fun thing to be able to do, especially if you like poetry. And you get to meet other like-minded people through the competition. If you get through to the finals, you'll be able to meet other people who like poetry as well, and it's just a very unique experience. It looks really good on your personal statement, and I just think you'll enjoy it. My first piece of advice is definitely pick poems that speak to you. I wouldn't necessarily go for the shortest poems. I wouldn't necessarily go for the longest poems either. Just go for one that you think will be fun to memorize, that you think will be fun to recite, that you can give a convincing performance of. Pick a poem that you really like, and then the experience of memorizing it will be a lot more fun. And most of all, just have fun with it. It's a fun experience, especially if you get through to the finals. It's a good experience, so just have fun with it is what I would say.